Amazon Web Services, or AWS as it's commonly known, is like the electricity of the internet. It's everywhere, powering everything. From Netflix streaming to Tinder swiping, AWS is the invisible force behind countless online experiences. Businesses, big and small, rely on AWS for its scalability, cost-effectiveness, and reliability. It's the backbone of the modern digital world. No system is perfect, and AWS is no exception. Despite its robust security features, vulnerabilities exist. These weaknesses can be exploited by malicious actors to gain unauthorized access to sensitive data and systems. One of the most common vulnerabilities is misconfiguration. This occurs when AWS services are not properly configured, leaving them open to attack. Think of it as leaving your front door unlocked. Imagine building a fortress with the strongest walls and most sophisticated security systems, only to leave the back gate wide open. That's essentially what happens with misconfigured AWS services. Misconfigurations can occur in various ways. It could be as simple as leaving a storage bucket publicly accessible, allowing anyone to view and download sensitive data. Or, it could involve more complex scenarios, like misconfigured security groups that expose critical servers to the internet. The consequences of misconfigurations can be dire. In 2017, a misconfigured AWS S3 bucket exposed the personal data of millions of Verizon customers. The data included names, addresses, account PINs, and even social security numbers. Such incidents highlight the importance of meticulous configuration management. Organizations must ensure that all AWS services are properly configured and secured, following best practices and industry standards. In the world of AWS, Identity and Access Management, or IAM, is the gatekeeper to your valuable data and resources. It determines who has access to what. But what happens when the gatekeeper's keys fall into the wrong hands? Weak or stolen. IAM credentials are a hacker's dream come true. With these credentials, attackers can impersonate legitimate users, escalate their privileges, and gain unauthorized access to critical systems and data. One common way IAM credentials are compromised is through phishing attacks. Hackers trick unsuspecting users into revealing their credentials through fake emails or websites disguised as legitimate AWS services. Another way is through credential stuffing, where attackers use stolen credentials from other breaches to try their luck on AWS accounts. This is why it's crucial to enforce strong password policies and enable multi-factor authentication, or MFA, for all IAM users. Section 5. Escalating privileges, the hacker's ladder to power. Imagine a burglar breaking into your house. They start by picking the lock on a window. Once inside, they find a set of keys hanging on a hook. Now they have access to every room in the house. This is analogous to privilege escalation in cybersecurity. Attackers exploit vulnerabilities to gain a foothold in a system, then leverage those privileges to access more sensitive data and systems. In the context of AWS, privilege escalation can occur when an attacker exploits a vulnerability in an EC2 instance to gain root access. From there, they can potentially access other AWS services and data associated with that account. Preventing privilege escalation requires a multi-layered approach. It involves implementing the principle of least privilege, where users are granted only the permissions they need to perform their job and no more. It also involves regularly reviewing and revoking unnecessary permissions. Section 6. Lateral movement, navigating your cloud like a digital ghost. Once an attacker gains a foothold in your AWS environment, they don't just sit still. They move laterally, like a ghost through the corridors of your cloud infrastructure, searching for more valuable targets. Lateral movement allows attackers to expand their reach and access more sensitive data and systems. They can pivot from one compromised system to another, exploiting weaknesses and escalating privileges along the way. Imagine an attacker gaining access to a low-privilege user's account. Through lateral movement, they might discover that this user has access to a shared network drive containing sensitive company data. Preventing lateral movement requires strong network segmentation where different parts of your AWS environment are isolated from each other. This limits the blast radius of an attack and prevents attackers from easily moving between compromised systems. Section 7. The high cost of neglect. Data breaches and service disruptions. The consequences of ignoring AWS security are not theoretical. They are real, tangible and potentially devastating for businesses of all sizes. Data breaches and service disruptions can cripple operations, damage reputations, and result in significant financial losses. A data breach occurs when unauthorized individuals gain access to sensitive information, such as customer data, financial records, or intellectual property. In 2019, Capital One suffered a massive data breach that exposed the personal information of over 100 million customers. Service disruptions, on the other hand, occur when critical AWS services become unavailable, causing websites to crash, applications to fail, and businesses to grind to a halt. In 2021, an AWS outage took down major websites and services for hours, costing businesses millions of dollars in lost revenue. These incidents highlight the importance of proactive security measures. By investing in security best practices, monitoring tools, and employee training, businesses can significantly reduce their risk of experiencing these costly and damaging events. Section 8, Shielding Your Cloud Fortress, Practical Security Measures. Securing your AWS environment doesn't require a magic wand or a team of cybersecurity wizards. It's about implementing practical, common-sense measures that can significantly reduce your risk of attack. One of the most effective measures is enabling multi-factor authentication, or MFA, for all IAM users. MFA adds an extra layer of security by requiring users to provide two forms of authentication, such as a password and a one-time code from a mobile app. Another crucial step is implementing strong password policies. This means requiring users to create complex passwords that are at least 12 characters long and contain a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Regularly reviewing and revoking unnecessary IAM permissions is also essential. This ensures that users have only the access they need to perform their job duties, minimizing the potential damage from compromised credentials. Section 9. Best Practices, Building a Secure AWS Foundation. Securing your AWS environment is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that requires vigilance, diligence, and a commitment to best practices. One best practice is to use infrastructure as code, or IAC, to automate the provisioning and management of your AWS resources. IAC ensures that your environment is consistently configured according to your security policies, reducing the risk of human error. Another best practice is to implement security monitoring and logging. By monitoring your AWS environment for suspicious activity, you can detect and respond to threats in real time. Regularly backing up your data is also essential. This ensures that you can recover your data in the event of an attack or disaster. Section 10. The Watchful Eye. Monitoring Tools for Early Detection. In the world of cybersecurity, knowledge is power. The sooner you know about a potential threat, the faster you can respond and mitigate the damage. This is where security monitoring tools come in. AWS provides a suite of monitoring tools such as Amazon CloudWatch and AWS Security Hub that can help you keep a watchful eye on your environment. These tools can alert you to suspicious activity such as unauthorized login attempts or unusual data transfers. Third-party security information and event management, or SIEM tools, can also be integrated with AWS to provide centralized logging and analysis of security events. This allows you to identify patterns and anomalies that might indicate an attack. By leveraging these monitoring tools, you can gain valuable insights into your security posture, detect threats early on, and respond quickly to mitigate potential damage. Section 11. Eternal Vigilance, the Price of Cloud Security. In the ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity, there is no finish line. The threat landscape is constantly changing, with new vulnerabilities being discovered and exploited every day. This means that securing your AWS environment is not a one-time project but an ongoing journey that requires eternal vigilance. It's about staying informed about the latest threats, implementing best practices, and continuously monitoring your environment for suspicious activity. It's also about fostering a strong security culture within your organization, where everyone understands the importance of security and their role in maintaining it. Remember, the cloud may be someone else's computer, but the responsibility for securing it ultimately rests with you.